Game number 1 here. This hand looks pretty decent. In the dark, I guess Force is okay. Opponent lays down a snow-covered swamp into a Rime-bound Dead snow creature skeleton from Cold Snap, which has for 1 snow regenerate. It's just a skeleton. It's not a zombie or anything. Okay. I wonder if this is like some sort of skeleton deck. Kind of regretting that Force of Negation now. And I don't think using Subtlety on that was a very good play. It's a pretty cool looking swamp. All right. Hopefully the opponent casts some incomprehensible black non-creature spell. Okay, we got our wish. Rime Transformation. I mean, it goes with Rime Bound Dead. I don't know any of these cards. I've never seen them before. Enchant creature gets +2/+1 and has snow mana. This creature can't be blocked this turn except by snow creatures. I mean, do I care about that? I don't think I do, because I'm just gonna Living End it away anyway. Sure, little buddy, get in there. I wonder if this is a Pauper deck, or maybe a Cold Block constructed Tiny Leaders deck that accidentally wandered into the Modern queues. Shout out to, all right, well, the guy's name is Snow Moon. I wonder if that means there's going to be like a Blood Moon or something in his deck. I mean, the avatar and the name goes perfectly with the deck. Gonna go get a basic forest. I want to keep my life total high. Don't really know what the opponent's up to. I'll go get blue-white. So, Meticulous Archive. We'll go ahead and get the free 7/7 into the graveyard. I like that. And I guess I Cascade. And now if we untap, we're protected from everything. Opponent has Snow-Covered Forest. Pacification Array. That actually represents a fair amount of damage prevention, so I'm just going to force that. I'm back from playing Neoform at the moment. You just couldn't keep a good deck down long enough. It seems like Boros Energy and Storm have picked up right now a little bit in the format. And so I think Living End is a better choice than it was maybe a month or two ago. All right. Good start there. Got a nice on-meta experience. All right, what do we want? They had an artifact and a creature with activated abilities in their deck, but I mean, I don't think I really want Clarion. I guess Foundation Breaker we want. Sometimes these black decks can be aggressive with things like Soul Spike, but I don't think that's what he was doing. Maybe taking out Street Wraith. I don't know. I mean, how do I lose? Bring in these two, take out Waker, Windcaller, because he could have things like targeted removal, like Dismembers and stuff, and so Striped Riverwinder is better than Windcaller, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I think this is a draft deck. I think maybe somebody was playing like a Cold Snap draft league and they accidentally joined with their 60 card special, so their deck it counted towards Modern, and then they accidentally joined their Modern. I don't know. I'm trying to think of reasons what's transpiring could transpire. I think this is the most befuddled I've ever been. Make sure we advertise. Ascended Spirit. Okay, this makes a little more sense. This is a rare. Yeah. Okay. I guess I could have looked for a Subtlety. I don't know. I don't feel that pressured. Well, I would have found it. Kind of a goofball moment by me. Did he pass up an attack? I'm not sure what's happening here. You know, many years ago, there was a pro Magic player named Yuya Watanabe, who's a Japanese player. And I remember the coverage team was just like, they were gushing so much over this player. They said he could win that was with a deck that was just like 4 Squadron Hawks and 56 planes. I kind of feel like that's what I'm playing against right now. And also that player ended up getting banned for cheating. Is he going to discard to hand size something huge maybe? No, he's not attacking. Well, I think I'm just going to go ahead and skip the rest of this match. It doesn't seem like anything's happening. All right, 1-0. Boom. Nail biter. Round number 2. I've obtained a banana. I'll try not to eat into the microphone. This hand. Oh, this hand's almost cool. I mean, it's 2 lands. We're on the play. I'm going to mulligan. It doesn't really flip the graveyard that good. That's better. All right, so what do we want here? I guess I don't want the extra Ardent Plea. Let's go ahead and get the island in play. Pretty innocuous island, too. It's just M19. This could be anything. If it's like a really specific full art island, then you know it's probably like a Merfolk player or like a Blue Moon player. Because like if you're playing Blood Moon in your deck and you have islands, you're going to play cool islands because you're always going to be getting them. Okay, another force. Could be all right. Let's go ahead and cycle now. We don't have any information to preserve because only one deck plays Curator of Mysteries. So usually I'm anti-cycle main phase, but in this case I kind of want to draw a green tap land. That's not a green tap land, so I'm just going to put that down. Opponent fetches for a Steam Vents and not a Surveil land. They're playing Dorat the Perfect Pet. So this is like prowess. This is like old prowess. Before Corey Steelcutter prowess. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that at the moment, but I can Living End next turn. So actually that's pretty good. So Dorat the Perfect Pet is Sprite Dragon from Ikoria. When you cast a non-creature spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gets big quick. It's kind of what they did before they had Corey Steelcutter. Now it's just totally power crept unplayable. More playable than the stuff our last opponent was playing, but I think they were playing Battle of Wits. I don't think they had enough cards in their deck for a Battle of Wits deck, though. I think they only had like 125. Could be wrong. I think you need at least 130. Does the opponent have Force of Negation? They do not. Go ahead and leave a like on the video. 1 like for every on-meta opponent we get. That's the goal for the video. Vapor Snag. All right, our opponent is playing like 2012 Extended. Stormwing Entity is a good one. That slows me down a little. Now they could they could have a free spell here and just totally blow me out. But I can also just like attack into this and then Living End again. I think Mistrise is a good one. I'm playing 2 Mistrise Village, by the way. All right, what to do? Let's just attack. I'll attack with both. My reasoning is that if he's got like some way to trick us out in combat, he's going to take out Street Race so I get the 2 damage in. And if he doesn't, I'm probably going to have to Live in again to win this game anyway. So having that in the graveyard is not that bad. Opponent blocks the way we thought they would. I'm just going to cast this Curator, actually. This is not card advantage if they use something that we use Force of Negation on. But now, if they attack, that's symbolizing they have like combat tricks. So I can block and get a free creature in my graveyard and make them use combat tricks. Yeah, see, this is what I wanted. I want all my creatures to die this turn. Our opponent has a Lava Dart, which they're incentivized to use here now. Maybe even use it twice. Yep, there's the Lava Dart. We save 6 damage by playing at this Curator. Game sense 100. Ooh, that was draws 0. Well, I could be deceased next turn. So I will cast. And this is not actually that good of a board. They have 3 cards in hand. But I couldn't let them have another turn. They were representing too much damage. And they still have Lava Dart in their graveyard. There's another Dorat, the perfect pet. But it's not Dorat, the perfect pet. It's at I Dorat, comma, the perfect pet at I. They have a lightning bolt. Okay, so they're going to trade, I believe, unless they have another free spell. Because they can Lava Dart from the graveyard, and they do. Okay. All right, we need an answer here. That is not going to do it. So I think versus this, Mystical Dispute hitting their 2-mana threat is huge. I think I want 1 to Fairy. And I believe that's it. And then I'll take out the Street Wraiths. I don't think I want Commandeer. I mean, I could play Commandeer because I bet they're going to have Spell Pierce, etc. That hand doesn't cast Living End, but it does pretty much everything else I'm interested in, so I'll keep. And it's pretty painless too. This is giving me flashbacks to that game that we lost to the mouse deck. So I need to get white here. I'm just going to play Otawara. Yes, I realized that I didn't get the optimal land there, but I need white mana. I had to use the Ent. I don't even have the Cascade spell anyway. Alright, well now that they can't even have Dora, I might as well look for a subtlety or something. Okay, there's the Ardent Plea. We're going to be a turn late because I fetched maybe foolishly. I'm just going to force that. Get that out of their graveyard. I'm going to force pitching force. To not leave their mana open. Okay, I'm going to just let's see. What do I have? Curator? Yeah, that's enough. So because I have a reach creature now, I'm going to take the damage and do this. Opponent Morphoses. That's not the most threatening thing in the world. Now, even if they played Core Steel Cutter, it wouldn't trigger. Stormwing. I always pronounce this wrong. There used to be things called STROM, but this isn't one of them. This is Stormwing Entity. Yeah, just bin that. I'm actually just going to send with 1 creature here. If they want to use a combat trick to kill my Curator but have their Stormwing survive, then they probably can't attack back into Generous Ent. And the cards in my hand are almost certainly better than the cards in their hand at a long game. And I've already got a good board state, so yeah. I can gain 3 life this turn. Makes it pretty hard for them to win. I door out the perfect Piata. They will not attack here. Yeah. Monastery Swift Spear. Okay. They've tapped out. The only thing that could get us here if I try to go off is blue card Force. I'm just going to cycle now. I can use this token later. Don't need that. That was a really good draw. All right, how do I want to attack here? I think same as last turn. If I send with Shardless Agent, then it's obvious I have another living end. And if they have any counter magic, they're going to have an easy time holding it open. So I'll just hold this guy back. Shardless Agent, his purpose in life is to block a Monastery Swift Spear at some point in time. Okay. All right, opponent's committing to the board. Maybe we'll go off with the living end soon. Oh, there's Tormod's Crypt. That sucks. They get Mega Prowess triggers. Sure, why not? They might think it's worth it to start attacking here. Yeah, they come in with everybody. And I'm going to be blocking with everybody. Go to block, block like that, block like that, block like that. This is a little risky, but only Generous and I guess could block Stormling, so not really. Okay, they have a Lava Dart. Sucks a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and game my life now. Before anything too wild happens. Alright, they flame jabbed my Generous Ent, so he will be perishing. That was a calculation I maybe should have put a little more thought into. Quite nice. Although I can't actually use both of these. Alright, try not to pass through my turn. Second main. Boom, boom. Don't need to leave that there. They will use Tormod's Crypt, and then I'll use Waker, and we'll go to game 3. Actually, don't want to fairy here. I want creatures. Yeah, give me the Riverwinder. You can have a turtle. Alright, opponent doesn't like turtles. This is a little painful, but I'll keep it. I mean on the draw, sorry, that's what I meant to say. We're pretty much going to subtlety anything we get a chance to. Same with Force of Negation. We're going to use one of those two cards very aggressively. Okay, now we can go painless lands for the rest of the game. Go ahead and Forced Cycle. Do I want to use... What do I want to use here? So I get... No, Basic Forest isn't good. I want Hedge Maze. I want to keep my life total up. Because I'm going to use one of these anyway. Oh, I could have gone Mistrise next turn followed by Basic Forest. That might have been better. Such a value hound. Yeah, okay, I think the play there was to get Basic Forest and play Mistrise next turn. Oh well. We have a pretty good graveyard at the moment, and we still have protection from Tormod's Crypt anyway. They're probably waiting until after combat. No, they just don't have it. Alright, nice. Oh, we drew the breeding pool. There's an out. We could cycle Curator. Yeah, I think now that I have such advantage, I want to press it. I want to put more power into play with my living end. Okay, opponent taps their blue mana again. Good. Just force the Tormod's Crypt, force him to have another one. Boom, nailed it. This is a pretty good board state. Actually, it's not even that good. Oh well. Generous Ant is the best creature in our deck against them. What's going on? Done. Subtlety trigger, you are too much. Like, I don't have fantastic attacks here. Do I send with everybody? If I send with everybody, that's 8. And so that doesn't kill them in 2 turns. Unless they play a shock land or a fetch land and use it or something. Opponent EIs. I think I will just bounce that. That's a big mana investment. That's a bad draw. Yeah, I guess I'll keep that. Just bounce him out of the game. It's the same Stormwing. Cast again. How did they have the blue mana? Oh, it's because it only costs 1 blue. Okay. I figured it out. Okay, so I'm going to slow this game down a little bit. I think I'm just going to chill with this Generous Ant. They sack their Fiery Islet. Actually, this kills them next turn. What does opponent have? Do I die if I attack? They haven't showed me a single counterspell the whole game. I'm winning this race, and if they have double pump spell, then they probably don't have a counterspell for press the enemy, and they probably don't even have mana to cast it. Maybe I just want to use food token this turn. Having that other blocker's really bad. Now, if I would have returned this to their hand on the stack, they would have still had a blocker. No. Let's cancel that. We want to see if they have another pump spell first. Okay, if they're not doing anything, I'll go to 4. Okay, now use the food. Any minute now, we're going to gain 3. There we go. Hopefully we draw... No, I can't draw a Cycler. Okay, that was huge. Lush Porticio might have just bailed us out. Let's see if we can hit a creature. Graveyard that. Okay, maybe I can put them in a situation where they have to chump block with Dorat next turn. Opponent draws a land. That's good for us. Will they give us just a free? They don't. Okay. So now that, well, the problem is I have to target Soulscour Mage. Let's think about this. If I target Soulscour Mage and cast Living End, then I have a Subtlety versus a 1/1 flyer, which means they have to chump block. And then we're in a situation where it's just effectively a 4/4 flyer versus whatever they can come up with. But the thing is that if they draw a lightning bolt off the top, it kills Subtlety. I think I'm just going to go to my turn. I don't actually think Teferi's good here. And the reason for that is because they have Arena of Glory, so anything I bounce, they can replay. With haste, I mean. Actually, yeah, I think Teferi's good enough. Because now they have to use 1 card to draw into enough bounce spells to kill me with 1 less creature. Alright, Force Negation was not ideal. Would have liked just a creature. Opponent refuses to put Surveillance in their deck, and they knock themselves down to 2. I don't know if that's worth it. Now even a shardless agent kills them. So they can't kill me this turn. They could kill Teferi if they wanted to. But then I get a free Stormwing, which actually wouldn't be that bad for them. Alright, that was pretty good. I'm going to just see what I draw here. I still have 4 mana. Otawara is pretty good too, I guess. It's another creature. Okay, that's great. Let's see how they attack. They gave it haste too, so they're attacking. I think they want to attack with everything. Yeah, that's what they want to do. We will go ahead and put one of these non-haste creatures back in their hand. And I have Otawara now. I can just bounce. Their blocker. They're gonna play 2, but they're gonna play 2 creatures. I'm gonna have 2 attackers. One of them's gonna get bounced. One of them gets through. All right, good games. I figured it out. I am SMRT. All right, we win the match. 2-0. Round number 3. Bant Living End. This hand is like borderline. I'm gonna keep it. It's got 2 lands. It's got an extra blue card for this force. It's got 1 cycler that I can use. Opponent plays a snow-covered mountain, also from Cold Snap. Playing against a lot of Cold Snap today. Misty Nice, that was a really good draw. Now we don't have to take as much damage. Although snow-covered mountain pass, that doesn't necessarily indicate an aggro deck, but I think it's prowess. No, never mind. They play another mountain. Is this Scred red? Okay. Going to go ahead and get Island. Use it to cycle Generous Ent. I'll get the Hedge Maze. Don't necessarily need to use both my mana next turn. Hello. I like putting turtles into my graveyard. Opponent stomps us. Okie dokie then. Card I used to play in Living End. I think it was bad. I don't think this card really ever did anything. I think it's more of a Rhinos card. Alright. Ragavan, Nimble Pure. Okay, this is just Ragavan. They're playing it with haste. I can just kill it next turn. What's the danger of letting them hit me? I don't think there is any. So I take 4 damage here. Ragavan's not really a burn card, though. I mean, it deals damage, don't get me wrong. I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's some overly blonde cartoon guy. Alright. They hit an endurance. Pretty mid. TBH. Oh, then I draw endurance. Got Ragavan bugged. Oh wait, no, because that was dashed, I don't get to kill it. Oh well. Perfect draw. They want nothing to do with it. Boom. That alternate art threw me off. Okay, what is our opponent doing? I feel like this is maybe a Teferi matchup. I'm going to treat this like it's Boros Energy. It might have just been the worst draw of all time. So I'm going to bring these in, go minus, minus, minus. Our opponent's name is WereCamel9, which is a pretty good name. It's like a werewolf, but it's a camel. And their avatar is a shark with a little logo. Whirlwing Stormbrood? I don't know what that is. Opponent relics us. Sure. I'm just gonna Foundation Breaker that. Whatever. I don't really want to draw that. I'll just graveyard it. Okay. Well, it would be a shame if we got Blood Mooned. So let's just go ahead and not. Chandra Torch of Defiance. That stinks a little bit. Also, I'm out of Surveillance. Put a creature in the graveyard. Well, I don't want to draw that. I guess we just go ahead and Living End. Now, maybe the opponent kills a bunch of stuff, and then we can get it all back with our next Living End. Okay. We have 2 Grizzly Bears in play versus the opponent's Planeswalker. I once traded somebody 2 SCG tokens for a Chandra Torch of Defiance when it was worth like 20 bucks. Oh yeah, this is what we want. Opponent use all their spells to kill our creatures. Yes, that's what we want. This is what I like. Chandra is going upstairs though. The way we win this game is we surveil into something big and then we Living End. That was not a good draw. That was pretty good. All right, now we Living End again. So we have to target our Shardless Agent, but we don't have to use it. Unlike Shriekmaw and Ingot Chewer that must take something out if they can, and Deadshot Minotaur, Foundation Breaker isn't such an angry lad. If you had 2 Lightning Bolts here, that would be bad. Well, he can only have 1 Lightning Bolt. Still, I want it dead. All right. And then I'm going to painlessly cast. So I missed 2 damage on our opponent there. That was actually pretty bad. Now Anger of the Gods gets us. Anger of the Gods still got us, but they should be at 18 instead of 20. They exile a mountain, which pings us for 2. All right, that was a good draw. Gonna swing enough at Chandra to finish it off. And the rest of our opponent. I don't have any discard effects in my deck, so I might as well play the land out. I'm going to let that happen because their last card could be another big Planeswalker. I'm just going to keep all my cards in hand for now. No reason to expend them when I have lethal protected. All right, 3-0. Round number 4. That's a totally unplayable hand. All right, that has potential. Opponent opens with a Flooded Strand, which is the most normal thing we've seen so far in 4 matches. Go ahead and cycle. And we are instantly Thoughtseize bugged. That's a real thing. There's no way you can convince me it isn't. All right. We need to draw a land here. These subtleties in this Force of Negation can keep us alive through a lot of stuff that blue-white control might do if that's what our opponent's doing. This could also just be energy. No, it's not. Well, it's at least not red energy. The blue-white energy deck actually just gives me all sorts of trouble. Appears to just be control of some sort. Land here would be great. I count it. That was actually like the best draw in the deck. We'll get a Hedge Maze. Hedge Maze. Free Entomb, thank you very much. And our graveyard just went from pathetic to really good because of 1 draw. Plays Wan Shi Tong for 2 mana. I can't counter this because then if they have Teferi, I just lose. Alright, this isn't very good right now. Flying Vigilance Flash. But it's just going to be a 1-1 for a while. I was playing a sealed RCQ over the weekend, and my opponent, who I had to register for, opened Washi Tongue and a Badger Mole Cub. I wonder what my opponent's going to do. If I just draw a land here, I'm just going to play it and hopefully hold up Subtlety. Land would be great, actually. I don't want to play against control at their own game if I don't have to. Endurance, not great, not bad. Kind of like 3.5 Rotegun. Let's just shove. What would Minomi do? Alright, no consign. Opponent has Force of Negation. Wonder what they kept their mana available for. Okay, opponent plays a 4th land. Monumental Henge. This can go looking for a Planeswalker or a Legend, I guess. I was kind of hoping they would tap out for Teferi. Land would still be good. I'm going to look for a land. Waker might as well use to look for a land. Although if I had a choice between a land and a Cascade spell, I think now I would take the Cascade spell. I'm going to take Misty. I don't have a lot of hope for a Press the Enemy doing much. Misty also gets Endurance online, so even though Press the Enemy could have potentially let us use this Living in our hand, I think additional land there just has a lot of value also. Now, if I start floating out, obviously that's bad. And maybe you could say, because this is a control deck, this game's going to go long. But the thing is, you don't want to go long against control decks. I'm not trying to play their game. They're better at their game than I am at their game. So I'd rather put another Cascade into play, and if I can't do that, I want to start using these flash creatures. We will get the Portico. Don't want the 5th land. The 5th land doesn't have any utility right now. Yeah, Washi 10 grows, whatever. Had to do it. I'm just going to jam. Screw it. Our plan's not really getting better. And the flash plan will always be there. They have Orange Chant. Yeah, it happens. At least it doesn't waste a living end. I think they would have gotten a red land by now. Okay. Alright, now we can play an Uncounterable Endurance. And then one more land and we can play an Uncounterable Subtlety. From our opponent's perspective, it doesn't seem like we have a flash creature in hand, because we've just been passing up the ability to do it. The opportunity, I mean. Remember that card, Opportunity? That was a good card. All right. Something kind of funny I just thought of. They could Orange Chant with this ability on the stack, and then we can't cast Endurance. Endurance can't be countered. I'm gonna tuck their graveyard. Maybe the next Endurance will tuck my graveyard to put Living End back in the deck. They're gonna Solitude. That's fine, I guess. We do need to draw another Cascade spell pretty quickly here. I gain 3 life. Alright, that was pretty filthy, not gonna lie. So let's do this right. We go boom, 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 Charlotte's Agent. Activate Mistrise Village. Do your worst opponent. What's next? The dogs or the bees or the dogs with bees in their mouth, and when they bark, they shoot bees at you. All right, they don't have a board wipe in their deck, I guess. Pretty lucky win there. As much as I don't really like Commandeer in these matchups, I think it's just necessary as an additional counterspell. I'm going to bring in one Foundation Breaker. Also, worth noting, I don't have Beseiju in my deck. I replaced Beseiju with another Mistrise Village because I was not using Beseiju nearly as often as I was using Mistrise Village. So I'm going to put one Foundation Breaker in the deck for no reason other... Well, the only purpose this serves is to take out Isochron Scepter, and even then, like, it has to do it. So let's think about that. It has to take out Isochron Scepter. Like, they have to play it early where they can't activate it, and then I have to have Foundation Breaker. You know what? I think that sucks. I actually don't think that's good. They could have Rest in Peace, whatever. All right, what do I not want? I think I'm starting to see the value in having more Cascade spells in the deck against control. I'm going to take one out, but I'm going to stop at that. Take out Avon. I like Press the Enemy. Press the Enemy is actually something I could do in my upkeep if I have Living End in hand and they have me Isochron Scepter locked. Now, that doesn't work if they have Teferi, but I mean, the game's just so over if that happens. Take out one Waker. I kind of just want all my stuff. I don't want to change too much about the character of my deck. Just take out these random cyclers. That's kind of what you do. This is a new me. I used to take out more Cascade spells. Look at that. 3 islands, 4 multicolor cards. Do we keep this? This has the potential of just never doing anything, so I'm going to mulligan. Pretty good 6. I'm going to keep and put back Endurance. We're pretty far from playing it, and I think these blue cards are all better. Okay, I think I get Breeding Pool with this Generous Int next turn. I will leave a land on top. I'm going Creature to the yard, Teferi to the yard. Anything but land to the yard. Yeah, Teferi's got to go yard here. Just don't have the mana for that right now. They need to print a Living End for Planeswalkers. Wouldn't that be cool? They have Deploy the Gatewash, but that's a 6 mana sorcery that I think looks at the top 7 of your deck, maybe the top 6, and puts any number of Planeswalkers in, or maybe up to 2. I don't know. I used to play it in Standard. I went to the store one day and bought every Planeswalker in Standard and put it in a deck. You can tell what kind of deck I like to play. I like to... Oh, look, there's the Breeding Pool. Let's just go ahead and play that. That's the land I was going to fetch if I hadn't drawn it. Having this Mystical is nice. Hall of the Storm Giants. I always forget about this card in paper and then die to it because I make a bad attack and then they have it and it like kills me on the backswing. So the question is, should I wait one turn? I think I'm going to. I'm going to wait one turn and try to get 4 lands for this Mystical. So I'll Hedge Maze here. Although if that was the case, I should have used Curator first. All right, I want a land in my top 3 cards. Top 4 cards, actually. There's another Cascade spell, so I could have just started shipping them. But we're still pretty safe here. Opponent can't really do anything right now. They could, but I've got answers. Go ahead and cycle. All right, perfect. Should have played Temple Garden. That was a punt. You know, I just play too fast, and bad things happen like that. I do value the Moto clock, though. That is something I'm pretty proud of. I never time out. I think I've timed out playing Magic online one time ever, and it was in like draft, which actually plays much slower than constructed because you can't just shortcut every decision like you can in constructed. Consign to memory. They only consign one time. Okay, I think this lines up pretty good. They're representing another consign to memory. I don't care. It's still 2 for 2. Remember, I can't force right now because it's my turn. They have another consign to memory. I think I would have just kicked your first one. But regardless, that got 2 of them out of hand. Nice. Now I've got an enchantment. Forced, not really what I wanted to see. Let's just go ahead and run out into more mana, into open mana. Because what else am I going to do? Okay, they orange chant. Well, I still have all the living ends in my deck. No, I can't. Okay. We've burned through 3 cards from our opponent trying to cast 2 living ends, which is pretty good. If you can't resolve the living ends, at least there's that. Hopefully I draw like my Sky Turtle maybe. Another Misty, not what I wanted, but at least I can surveil. I'm going to take the hit from Wan Shi Tong. They're almost to Hall of the Storm Giants mana. Go to 12. Surveil. Graveyard. They put a counter on it, so I'm not going to play Subtlety. That's actually, shouldn't have played Misty there. I'm not going to use it. Because 4, 8, 12 versus 4, 5. So it's not, actually doesn't matter. Doesn't change the damage situation. I will fetch because it doesn't actually speed up the clock. We're super dead at this Hall of the Storm Giants anyway. Okay, I can protect. If I draw a Cascade spell here, I can protect it with Force of Negation. I think I want Sync. Actually, no, I want Mistrise Village. I can't sync Hall of the Storm Giants. Actually, it has Ward 3, so I could. This way I can at least resolve a Subtlety and block. And then next turn, if I happen to draw a Cascade spell, I can use it. Monumental Henge doing its thing. Opponent reveals to Fairy. Yuck. Hopefully they cast it before combat. So playing this Otawara ended up being pretty bad. Well, now they can't activate Hall. Right? Yeah, they can't activate Hall anymore. So I don't have to use Subtlety. Although maybe it would have been better to just use subtlety so it dies and goes to the graveyard on a future turn. Narset is fine, whatever. They don't have the combo yet. Although they could get it. Surgical extraction. Good thing you didn't let me put any living ends in my graveyard. Yeah, there's nothing good in the graveyard. Whenever an opponent searches their library, so if they search my library, it doesn't trigger Wan Shi Tong. I wonder if Magic Online knows that. Thanks for the good luck shuffle, opponent. We go to 1. No more fetches for us. Although if I get this living end off, I can get a generous end. Alright, well, we can play double blocker. We can't make them both uncounterable. But now if they fire up 2 creatures, I can play them both. I can block them both, I mean. I mean, the lengths I go through to try to win a game. I'm not going to give them the opportunity yet. This could pick up a counter spell. But they need 2 counter. Okay, well, it's a fairy on the stack. I think we know what we need to do. I think they should just haul the Storm Giants and attack. They surgical to mystical dispute, even though they know about subtlety in our hand. Although we don't have a subtlety in the graveyard. Alright. What are they even worried about mystical dispute for? They have 8 lands in play. So mystical dispute is not just the card to gainsay. Your opponent can buy their way out of it. Well, I got a surprise for you. And if they counter this, I lose. Alright, subtlety resolves. Opponent's also kind of low on time. Not super low, but low enough that it might matter. I know I said Wan Shi Tong doesn't matter. Yeah, it kind of did. It put a clock on me, but I mean, it's the same clock that like Solitude could have put. It didn't necessarily matter what this creature was, just that it was a creature. Well, I'm actually going to take the opportunity to try to finish this card off, because then they have to attack with Hull, and I can chump block that too. In their graveyard. Opponent cast Solitude. I don't think that was a great use of their untapped lands. TBH. This does give us more outs. I mean, it's the same number of outs. 1 card. Well, let's see what they've got. Oops. Cast. Make uncounterable. Alright, the opponent just doesn't even want to draw another card. Even though they have tons of lands, they could play another Narset, dig for a Supreme Verdict. They're just done with it. Alright, on to round number 5. Okay, round number 5. After another computer aneurysm, I'm going to send this hand back. That's pretty good. Let's see. I think the card I don't want is Endurance. Yeah, I do know this player. He's a Living End Discord channel member. Alright, it's Eldrazi, and we immediately drew Living End. This is going really bad. Hopefully we don't surveil another Living End here. This is going hilariously terrible. Alright. There's the Thoughtseize bug, although that was not the first card again. So there are 4 of them in my deck. Sometimes you just draw cards that there's 4 of. If my opponent played a creature here, what would I do? Okay, they're doing nothing. To me, this looks like Thought Not Seer. Like, the most Thought Not Seer ever. That ever Thought Not Seered. Well, we just gotta kind of hope that our deck is kind to us, because until we draw a Cascade spell, pretty much can't even play. Opponent bogs us. Oh well. Goodbye, Graveyard. But they probably have nothing else to do, because they didn't do anything with these same lands last turn. No, are they playing Line Breaker? There's actually a person in my store that plays a deck like this. I want to cycle this because it's bigger. All right. I don't think I need both these forces. Nice, that was really good. All right, I was complaining a lot there for someone who countered their opponent's spell into Cascade spell into a double cycle. Not in that order, but you know what I mean. Castorino, the Living End. Don't need to top that because I have more Cascade where that came from. Oh, and they rage past the turn. Nice. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not. I don't know if our opponent accidentally passed the turn, but that was one of those extremely fast Magic Online turns. We confirmed the opponent did accidentally just kind of pass through their turn. I thought that looked like a mistake. But this is ruthless online internet Magic blood sports, so no mercy. Nah, actually, if they would have asked, I probably would have given them that. I would have not attacked there. But anyway, they didn't ask. So I like Commandeer for them. I'm a proponent online of taking out, of not using Inevitable Betrayal, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to bring in a Clarion. Sometimes I kind of like to Fairy to bounce their hate spells, but I don't really like that on the draw. I tend to not have as much time. Still got to cut 2 cards. I don't think they're playing a graveyard deck at all. Although Flash Endurance to block Line Breaker could actually be real. Maybe, but that's just expensive on mana. Like, if that's what we're doing versus Eldrazi, that's not really a good look. Because they're just going to follow up with something bigger, most likely, and it won't really matter that much. I guess on the draw, we take out Wake or Riverwinder. Okay, pretty good hand. We will keep that. I've got my Cascade spells. I've got something to put in my graveyard. I've got my sideboard card. I'm ready to plow. Opponent has Chalice of the Void. We are playing 2 Mistrise villages, though. They go Cavern on Eldrazi, and they kept 7, unfortunately. But at least it's not Vexing Bauble. I can still use my Subtlety. Put that in the graveyard. Don't need more of that. So for those of you that haven't been playing Modern for quite some time, Chalice of the Void counters these Cascade targets like Living End, Resurgent Belief, Rhinos, etc. Need to slow him down. This feels bad. Maybe he'll bottom it. Let's see, what does he do? Bottom, okay. Just kind of need to dig for something to get us out of the Chalice of the Void hole that we're in. This is one of the arguments for bringing Endurance, well, not bringing, but leaving Endurance in, is they're kind of hateful, so if we can just cast some spells, we can buy some time. I don't know, I don't think Endurance is that good against him. There's actually a player at my store that plays mono red Eldrazi just like this, with Line Breaker and everything. Basic land, planet, mountain. I mean, that's a planet. Is that a mountain or is that a whole planet? I mean, I think once you get to a certain percentage of the curvature of the planet, it's no longer a mountain and it's just a sphere. That is a stance I'm going to die on. Well, no. I want to force cycle. And I'm not going to die. Never mind. I take it back. I don't really care that much. Okay. In case my next land is tapped, I want the land now. So that's why I'm doing this. Yeah, I guess I'll take Commandeer. I would have played Clarion Conqueror there if I hadn't drawn Force of Vigor. So Force of Vigor lets me kind of surprise go off. And now I just want them to play anything except Thought Not Seer. Ugin's Labyrinth. We'll see what they still have in their deck. All is Dust. Okay. It doesn't target, so Commandeer is worthless against that. Hopefully we hit a land here. Nice. Kind of like a land. And take out that Chalice. Yes, use the ability. I mean, our first living end is kind of covered here, unfortunately. So I kind of need a Force of Negation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They need 7 for this. Need one more land for that. Uncharted Territory. It's basically Cavernous Souls, but worse. Well, even if I commandeer that, it doesn't matter. Oops, wrong color. Hopefully we draw a green card here. Yeah, I'll just force that. Why not? So they have to hit land next turn in order to All is Dust. So they could also have Kozilek's Command. Whatever. Let's just go for it, see if we get a free win. Can always follow up with Clarion. They don't have any pressure in play. And then if we see any big creatures out of them, we can put Inevitable Betrayal in the deck. I just don't think it's that good. If they take out everything bigger than the 6/6 that exiles, it's like really bad. And now that allows them to All is Dust next turn though, so that's kind of bad. No, it doesn't because the tokens die. Yeah, so. But they're still gonna, so they take a turn off from casting All is Dust. Man, I'm just kind of blabbering. But yeah, I always forget. Kozilek's Command would just, the tokens would just die to living end. Now, sometimes what they'll do is they have 2 Kozilek's Command in hand. They go for a big one. They make the Cascade, or they make the Scions, and then while living end's still on the stack, they sack those Scions and tap the next one and get the rest of the cards in your graveyard. I'm a known Eldrazi hater, but no hate to our opponent. They're a pretty cool guy, I guess. Or a snail. They say they're a snail, just a snail. Yield to all. NO. Venting prevents explosion. See, now they can't tap Ugin's Labyrinth. to cast all his dust next turn. And even if our opponent wins this game, hopefully they have to show us what they're going to win it with. I'm not just going to scoop because I really want to know if they have creatures in hand. What are they doing? Okay, they have Sire of Seven Deaths. That's kind of my limit. Sire of Seven Deaths, I think, is the worst card that you can inevitably trail into and still win fairly reliably. I'm going to let it hit me for a turn. It has Trample, actually, and First Strike. Whatever, I'm just going to let it hit me. I don't have any good options here. Hopefully they like tap out for an Emrakul. So this game is pretty much over. We're not going to win. I'm a little surprised they actually have Sire in their deck. Whatever, I don't need to see anymore. All right. Let's go ahead, bring these in, take these out. Force of Vigor. Teferi in. I like Teferi on the play. Decent hand, I suppose. Teferi's nice because it can, if it stays in play, it can just bounce their artifact hate piece the turn you want to cascade. All right, don't need more lands. There's Vexing Bauble. I don't like that. They did mulligan once. Okay, good. So this sets up where I can go Teferi plus, and then the next turn I can minus Vexing Bauble and then cascade. If all goes to plan, that's what we'll do. Force of Negation, not the best right now. I can't use it. It's just a Flesh Raker. Nice. No point in digging for a Subtlety because it will be countered. Meticulous. Although the problem is now Flesh Raker. Okay, it only deals damage to each opponent. So the Flesh Raker ping can't go after Teferi. Although, I mean, this is looking pretty unwinnable at the moment. Gonna see if I can get one of my Foundation Breakers. Golly. It never fails. I always draw Inevitable. All right. Well, this match didn't go our way. Upsetting. They attack with everybody, which is the right play. Hope for a random solar flare to take out the server. No, darn, we got the 4-1. Thanks for watching, everybody.